Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Speak and Grow Rich podcast. Today we have the one and only Brooke Allison. Hi, Brooke. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time. So, Brooke is actually a mind shift coach and achievement strategist. How many of you are ready for a mind shift and also achievement to get more of our goals in 2023 or whenever you're listening? So, Brooke, welcome. Let us know, how can we actually shift our minds and achieve more? What are some of your top tips
Awesome.
on that?
Yeah, well, I love that we're just like diving straight in. I mean, literally, as soon as you started saying what are ways we can shift our mind, Amanda, my brain went to, okay, well, how much time do we have? Because there's so many ways. And that's why I think people don't realize is when you want to shift or when you feel stuck or when you feel stagnant, it all starts with you just deciding that you no longer want to feel, or what I like to call it, it's almost like sitting in your own stink, like sitting in the shit.
Yes.
I definitely have my sit in the shit days, and I need a couch and I need some tears and I need to cry it out, and that is okay. And you move through the emotions, whatever. But there comes a time, and I teach this as a cycle of emotions, but there comes a time where you get out of that phase of the sadness that I quit, like the anger phase, and you get into action and excitement. And one of the best ways to shift is there's a couple different ways. I'll just go over three. Okay. First off, action will always bring excitement. So people often, what they do is they think they need to feel motivated. They think they need to feel inspired to actually go do. And in fact, the opposite is way, way, way more prevalent. And you can do multiple things. Your physiology has a lot to do with your mind and in your body. So you can, dance it out, shake it out a little bit, go for a walk. I'm often walking my fur baby, my little sagey poo, taking her out, going on hikes, getting inspired in that way, going to the gym. That's a very, very simple and foolproof way of shifting your mind. But if we go into more deeper, transformative shifts, one thing I love to do is build evidence. So your conscious awareness is always trying to prove you correct. It's always trying to prove you right. So the question is what is your prevalent thought that is being proven correct? Is it I'm accomplishing all of my goals, like I'm doing this thing, I'm so excited? Or is it the latter of what am I doing? I'm such a failure. Whatever is in your conscious awareness, your brain is going to seek evidence all over your space from your past, from your current experiences, from stories that you hear maybe on social media or on the news. You're going to be like, see, I told you, right? Like you're going to tell yourself this is why you can't do it. But the cool thing is we can trick ourselves into finding our own evidence. And through evidence and repetition, that's how we actually create new belief systems for ourselves. So that's another thing. Okay. So we've got the physiology.
Okay. Move and evidence. Okay.
Yes. Then we've got the evidence finding. So that is you actually going through your own past and finding evidence of why the thing you desire is totally possible, or to counteract the big negative, scary, hairy thought that's kind of really driving your day each day. The other thing I love to do, and I mean, there's a million things I really love to do. So let me think about just one that I feel like is a really great way to shift. And okay, one of the things I really love to do is this is a visual representation. I have what I call my life I'm attracting Pinterest board, and it's private to me. Nobody else can see it. I show my clients sometimes, but nobody else can see it. But I based this Pinterest board not on the things I wanted to accomplish on a timeline. I used to do those vision boards and I would get incredibly frustrated, but instead on the feelings I desire to feel. And it's just enveloped, it's huge now, but taking time to focus on feeling really good. And that's why if you have images that really evoke a feeling for you, the feelings you desire, that's such an easy way to shift into out of that stuck state into, okay, I got that out of my system. Let me refocus.
Yes. Oh, I'm such a big fan. You're making me want to go do a Pinterest board right now.
Yes,
I have the feelings. So with this board, one of the
Mm.
things I do, and maybe you do this as well, I'm curious, what I have done is I've printed it out. This is an example, printed it out and laminated it and made it mini.
Oh,
And then,
cute.
yeah, and so I'm not, this is actually an older one, but the
Yeah,
other one, the other fun thing, here's another one. Okay, this is kind of like a fun, and I
I
put,
love it.
and now I know this is your interview, but I will let you know, I just put for fun. I like what you're saying, just for fun. Then I was invited on 3 jets, private jets. Okay. So
Okay.
working, this is working, and it's super
Well,
exciting.
it
So
kind
where
of
do you put
plays with
yours?
like my second point because you're
Yeah.
consciously putting into your awareness your desires, and then your conscious mind is finding the evidence that this is happening for you, that
Mm-hmm.
you are seeing signs. There is not a world where someone sees signs that they're on the right path and then someone else just doesn't see any signs. That doesn't make any sense. But
Right.
it's us deciding that, hey, I'm open and ready to receive. Even just making that declaration changes everything, and starting to notice the signs that are being given to us, not just like, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like, letting it move on. But the fact that
Not
you like,
caring.
hey, I made this thing and then look at what happened. Well, hello,
Yeah.
that's a sure sign, right? That
So
you are
how do
not
you
on
do
the right
your
path.
Pinterest board? How do you do your Pinterest board? Do you print it out? Do you just have it on your computer? What do you do?
Well, so my Pinterest board is just like a living organism. So it's constantly being built all the time. So
In
the fact that
Pinterest.
it's on Pinterest, yeah, like I said, it's a private board. Nobody
Yeah.
can see it. I actually like that it's private because
Yeah.
it's so personal to me. And
Yeah.
what's fun is actually, I've been doing this for years. So some of the cities when I lived in Italy, I've been to those cities now. Like some of those moments, and some of the moments are like love. And so I'm still looking for that. So that's still very prevalent in my Pinterest board. Some really powerful, strong friendships. I have built some of that, but I'm always wanting more. There's some fun moments in there, but I get into the practice of maybe every week or so adding more to my Pinterest board. And anytime you're feeling off, you can just scroll through it. But it's scrolling intentionally, not
Yes.
just looking down the spiral of everybody else's success and feeling worse about not being where you want to be, etc.
I'm loving this. And it really works because it gets into your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And then to your point of not specific goals, but things just that make you feel good, then all of a sudden
Yes.
it's going to rearrange to happen for you,
That
which
changed
is
everything
huge.
for me. So in my first business, I started my first business when I was 22 years old. So in my first business, I built a lot of physical vision boards that had pictures, that had dates and deadlines, and this is what I'm achieving this year. And I'd get halfway through the year and I would literally get so frustrated, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
so much anger towards those desires that when I look at back on this now, I'm like, well, of course I never achieved that because it completely flipped. So the first time I ever made a vision or a desire board based off of the emotions I want to feel, everything changed because those emotions, they don't have like a definitive deadline. I want to feel them forever. I want to feel them, and I want to feel them forever. So that was really helpful for me. And obviously I went to art school for photography. So photography is such a great way to evoke emotions for people, and images are a great way. I mean, we're very visual culture. So being able to
Mm-hmm.
see something and feel something, that's so impactful.
It
Yeah.
is. So tell me a little bit about visibility, because I know that you've been on 20 plus platforms
Yes.
in the last year. Tell me a little bit about helping the audience get more visible to receive more and have more opportunities come their way.
Yes. Well, and it's not even like just waiting for it to come your way, but also going after it. And I
Yeah.
think that's what people often don't do in business in general is they have these big goals and they kind of just like, okay, I'm ready. I'm open for business. And they just expect like the floodgates to open and they're like, okay,
Right.
I'm open. And yes, that can happen. And there's nothing wrong with you going after it. So a number of things happen. I have had opportunities come to me and knock on my door. I've also knocked on people's doors and looked for those
Nice.
opportunities, whether it was a collaborative opportunity I've done where, hey, I'll feature you on my podcast if you feature me on your podcast. I've done where it's like, hey, I'd love to interview you on my platform. Would you interview me on your platform? So having those collaborative opportunities, but also developing a really, really beautiful pitch that you can, I jokingly say this. So before I had my assistants and stuff, I created Sarah, and I say this in air quotes if you're just listening. So Sarah was me. I was Sarah. But
Okay.
Sarah is the one that would pitch me, the one that would deal with client problems. So she was the one to kind of help me remove myself from my business and really pitch me to the podcasts and the places I would want to be. I felt like it looked a little bit more professional, not necessarily coming from me. But that's honestly what I do is I find podcasts that would be a really great fit of where my clients are already spending their time. I then get on those podcasts and I pitch. So I pitch to their emails. Usually they are interested, or I'll message them on Instagram and send them some voice messages and say hello and build that connection. And then see if there's a mutual collaboration opportunity, if that's beneficial, and kind of go from there. But that's kind of what I do.
I love it. It's so good. Everything. I love what you're saying. That's funny. I actually, earlier in my business, I think mine was named Wendy, but I had the same alter ego.
Wendy.
I was Wendy with air quotes. And it honestly, there's some drive and there's some push and there's some follow through that happens. I love that hustle that you have.
Yeah.
You're going to get blessed with your hustle. So, okay. So tell us a little bit about how, how do we become fiercely unstoppable?
That's my favorite thing people ask. So for those who don't know, Fiercely Unstoppable is part of my brand. It's what my first ever trademark that I've ever trademarked in my business as well. And it's been with me from my first business to this business now, and will always be with me. But the embodiment of Fiercely Unstoppable is a combination of confidence. It's a combination of building grit, tenacity, being an overcomer, and just realizing that what you actually desire, embodying fiercely unstoppable in pursuit of those desires, and knowing that yes, obstacles and roadblocks are coming along the way, and we get to overcome them. And I think the important word there is we get to overcome them in whatever way you see fit. So what I love to do is we build a lot of confidence and mind shift abilities. So what I find in my clients is they'll be speaking to me and they'll come to their call and they'll be like, Brooke, I had a whole conversation with you just in my own head because I have been able to prime them enough to not need me, but to desire to have me in their life to help them keep going. But what happens is when we speak enough, I am able to help you do some deep mind rewiring shifts. I'm also able to help you build your confidence in a way that you probably haven't experienced before, and focus on what you desire. In fact, your two jobs as an entrepreneur is to focus on what you desire and to take action. That's it. That's all you're supposed to do.
That's it, guys.
That's literally it.
Two things.
Yeah.
Focus on what you desire and take action.
Yes. And I tell my clients to bring me the shit that prevents you from doing those two things, because we can shift. And one of my superpowers, as I help people kind of embody that fiercely unstoppable movement, is I'm able to hear someone tell me their presenting problem. And I say presenting problem because usually the presenting problem is almost like the scratch, or it's like the headache, right? It's it's what you see. It's what you're consciously aware of. But after 5 minutes of talking with you, I can usually tell you the deep-rooted issue that's actually keeping you stuck. And then we can shift that within 10 to 15 minutes. That's what's so great, is once we're aware of it. And a lot of what we're doing here is building your self-awareness, identifying how do I reroute thoughts? How do I rewire my brain to be able to focus on what I want and take action? So it's a couple different features. Like I teach a circle, like the cycle of emotions. That's something that I've studied just from working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over the years.
Yes.
We talk about, confidence, mind shifting, everything, but also like the clarity of your plan is incredibly important too. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, of course you're not going to go do it. So I like to simplify things. Like, here's
Yes.
your plan of action. Here's the strategy. Here's the options you can do, because there's not one way to success. There's a million ways to hit your next $100,000. Let's do it with the path of least resistance. Here's your roadmap. Go take action. And I'm going to help you shift every step of the way towards your next level of success.
It's great. And you are a trained NLP practitioner, EFT,
Yes.
as well as one other.
Yes. Okay. So I'm a master practitioner in NLP, a master hypnotherapist, EFT, time techniques, which I love time techniques. Honestly, it's where we're able to, in your mind, like go to your past to unleash and unlock and like really let go of different emotions, different belief systems that could have even happened, when you were very young and you didn't even realize, or generationally. It's something that maybe your great grandmother said at one time and just got like, paved through the way. And you're like, I don't even believe that. So it's really cool what we're able to do there. And then, tapping, EFT. Yeah. And then I'm basically a success in life coach. So I have a master practitioner like in success in life coaching, but I just call myself something different.
So what got you into learning all these modalities and beginning this path?
It's funny, when you are further along in your life, hindsight always is 2020. And I know you know that. I'm sure what you've noticed in your own life is how certain decisions have led you in a certain place, but it kind of starts to make sense. I think once you've arrived somewhere, success leaves clues. Tiny little clues. You don't really see them along the path, but you start to see them over time. So I have always been a person that loves to influence, that loves to impact, that loves to inspire. Yeah. I mean, I went to art school.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to art school. I've been a dancer my whole life. I did singing competitions. I've always loved influencing people. So I've been on stages since I was 3 years old. I've, then I was an artist and I had the desire. In art school, I started studying psychology. I actually took my first psychology class in high school, actually. Since then, I have been very interested in different modalities of the brain and how the brain works. And I studied mental illness. I studied memories. I studied belief systems. I studied all these different things throughout college. And then started my first business when I was 22. Tapped into the personal development world, didn't even know half that stuff existed before the age of 22. So I'm very grateful that I took that leap. And it kind of just everything, all the puzzle pieces started falling into place. So I've been studying the brain and working with psychology for a very long time. And yet then I found NLP and I was like, you know what, this would be a great addition to help my clients. And then I became a master level, certified. So that's the highest level that you can be at. The next level, if I choose to, would be a trainer where I train other people how to utilize NLP for themselves or for their clients.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how can we get in touch with you if we want to connect in more with you? You're obviously an amazing speaker and you have so many gifts and talents to help people to get unlocked and also help with their mind shift. So how can we stay in contact with you?
Yes, I am all over the place. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a podcast, although it is on a standstill right now. You can absolutely still look it up. It's called Fiercely Unstoppable. Brooke Allison Coaching is my website. That is my business. And I'm sure hopefully we'll have some links below, but send me a message. I'd love to offer, even if you want to talk and you want to just see, okay, here's my presenting problem. I want to know what my deep rooted problem is. I would love to offer that to your clients. If you want to just message me problem, let's just say that the word problem, and then I'll know what we're talking about. That way, then we can really look at what is actually blocking and hindering you from your next $100,000. Because when you can collapse time energetically and strategically and receive more money, I didn't go from food stamps to generating over $1 million overnight, but I definitely did some work to be able to allow that to happen. I just like to help people identify what is that thing that we need to release to allow the easier momentum for cash, clients, desires, etc.
How long did it take you to go from food stamps to $1 million?
About 4.5 years.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And have you been able to sustain it, or have you found like you need to calibrate to that new normal? And what has your journey
I think
been?
you're always, well, I feel like you have a normal. My new normal is completely different than it was years ago. I remember the time that I thought that $10,000 cash months were something that doctors and lawyers, like they were exclusive to doctors and lawyers. There was no way anybody else in the world would have something like that. And when I first hit my first 10K month, I think it was about my 7th month in business. I actually took my mom on a trip to Maui, fully paid for by me. Like it was so fun. It was a great way to attach my desire. That's another like idea for someone is allow your goal to be bigger than just you, attach it to something or someone else. And so I told my mom and I are very close, that when I hit that goal, I was going to take her somewhere. We landed on Maui.
Cool.
We had a great time. And
Easy
then
to spend $10,000 for two people. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
it was great. I didn't spend it all. But it was a great time. I needed some of that money to pay my bills. I went from food stamps. So I had a lot of bills.
Right.
But I was able to pay off like 5 of my credit cards within my first full year of business. And I hit 6 figures in my first full year of business. And so that then became the minimum. And you expand and you expand and you expand. But Brooke Allison Coaching went from a 0 to $1 million business and growing all the way. But of course we have ups and downs. And that's why I think people need to normalize a lot more, is all you ever see online is like success, success, success. And yes, that's happening. Yes, that's wonderful. But there's a lot of ups and downs within that success. And really it's like we're going up and down, but our goal is to like go at like an upward angle. If you go down for a year, that's okay. That's okay. It's realizing that your current financial situation is just that. It's just your current financial situation. And it gets to morph and pivot and change at any time that you desire it. We just have to take the steps to make it happen and make sure everything internally is like 100% yes on you actually achieving your goals. And that's why sometimes we need to look at the vibration of our goal too. I remember, do we have time for this little short story?
Sure.
Okay. So I remember for a long time, and even still, I have not hit that infamous $100,000 cash month. Hasn't happened for me. I still believe it's possible. I still believe that I can do it. I have not done it. I've helped my clients do it. I have not done it myself. And I had all of my energy and focus on hitting $100,000 cash in 1 month. And I started to grow really resentful, just like my story with my vision board. I started getting angry when I thought about that. Other people would hit it, and instead of celebrating them, I'd be like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not doing this? This makes no sense. I've got all the systems, all the structure, everything's in place. So what I noticed is that goal started to frustrate me. It started to no longer feel good. So I wasn't focused on my desire and taking action. I was focused on, why am I not there?
Right.
And instead, exactly. And that's another thing too, is when you talk about desire, make sure you don't always say want, because want implies that you don't have. Desire is forward facing. So it's just a really simple way to kind of shift you into focusing on your future and what you're going after. But I know it's so easy for us to say want, you know, but just try to catch yourself.
Is better.
Desire. Okay. I have to catch myself all the time too. So just keep that in mind. What I did was instead I said, okay, what would make me and what would allow me to feel like $1 million if I achieved that thing? And I can't remember at the time what I shifted my goal to. Maybe it was like, okay, this month I'm going to do, 50,000 in cash, or, something like that, where it's like a little bit different. Or I was like, okay, I want to impact 20. I want to have 20 clients this month come through, something like that, where I shifted the energy and it felt really, really good. Immediately, all of that frustration lifted and I was excited about my focus again. And
so you focus on helping the clients, helping the 20 clients. Versus getting the money, and you lower the goal,
or it was
to 50.
It doesn't even matter. It's not even really specific on what the goal was specifically. It has nothing to do with that. It has more so to do with my feeling behind the goal, and then asking myself, okay, well, what goal would actually make me feel like $1 million? And hitting the $1 million marker and Brooke Allison Coaching being an LLC was that was an insanely amazing thing coming from food stamps a couple years ago. So being at that place where I'm like, that felt good. So I started,
Yes.
it's getting curious. We're playing
Mhm.
with money. I have like a whole, I just did a workshop not that long ago on playing and receive massive money. And literally it's about like 2 hours where we just play with money. And there's multiple different
Mhm.
ways of how I've expanded my money mindset and my money awareness to be able to receive a lot more. But playing with the idea and the curiosity of what could be can also help you expand. But it
Yes.
also, it helps you become aware of where your comfort bubble is with
Mm.
money, because we don't
Right.
want to push you so far to where you land in doubt, but we want to kind of get you in that sweet spot of, okay, I can do this, and oh my gosh, there's no way. It's
Right.
like that
Right.
sweet spot of curiosity where it's just like it's really pushing you and it's driving you and you're excited to receive it. Whether that's money, clients, whatever. I love talking money because I truly believe money buys us choices, and then we get
Yes.
to choose to live the life that we desire.
Amen. Give her a round of
Yeah.
applause. So good.
So
I love what
we could be here all day.
I know, it's so good. We'll have to have you come back
I
for
would
sure.
love that.
Well,
Yes.
and I love what you're saying too, is I think a lot of people attach, and one thing I had to unhook from was they attach their worth and their significance
Oh yeah.
to how much they make or they don't make.
I
And when
mean,
you
it's
can
a
unhook,
constant battle. I
yeah,
still battle with that. And but it's constantly releasing it again and again and again and
right.
refocusing your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. So thank you guys so much for being here, Brooke.
Yes.
We can connect with you at Brooke Allison Coaching or anywhere on the interwebs at Brooke Allison, or is it Brooke Allison Coaching?
Both, but Brooke Allison coaching. I think you'll find me regardless, but I'll make sure you have some links too, so that way we can lead people to wherever they need to go.
Okay. Well, you guys, I will see you in next week's episode, but thanks for showing up. Be sure that you comment, you share, you like, you subscribe if you like this, and connect in with Brooke as well. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks, Brooke. Bye, everybody.
Bye.